What's one piece of advice you'd give someone considering becoming a barber?
The day I started school, I started marketing myself. I would market myself, get my homies in there. I would charge them full price. It's all about branding. And so
For
my
sure.
advice would be, I don't care if it's your first day at college, start making college content. We made Clary
Mhm.
Sage content.
Welcome to Green Country Conversations, the podcast where we hear about the stories and learn about the people that make Northeast Oklahoma truly great. I'm your host, Maverick Pitchford, owner of Bison Ridge Insurance, and today we're going to have on a guest who can teach us about the art and science of barbering and how he makes Northeast Oklahoma look great through the haircut. But first, I want to take a minute and thank our sponsors.
This ad is brought to you by absolutely no one. Imagine you're here, your name's here, your logo's here, and I'm singing your praises. All you have to do is sponsor this podcast. If you're interested, please reach out to me at maverick@bisonridgeinsurance.com.
Today's guest is Blaine Ford, the owner of Blades Edge in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. Blaine has been a barber for 7 years and has spent his whole life living and working in Green Country. He's passionate about helping people feel confident with a fresh haircut and creating a welcoming atmosphere for his clients. From mastering the latest styles to sharing meaningful conversations in the barber chair, Blaine's approach is about much more than just cutting hair. It's about building community, boosting confidence. Blaine, thanks so much for coming on the show. We're happy to have you, man.
What's up, man? How are you?
Doing good, dude. I'm so excited for this.
Hey, real
Congrats. I
quick.
saw. Go ahead. Yeah,
se-
you first.
I haven't been cut in 7 years. Did it say
7 year.
that?
Yeah, I don't know how. I must
I
have pulled that
gra-
wrong. How long?
I graduated a year ago.
Oh, okay. Maybe
Yeah, yeah.
it's supposed to say several. So,
Several, maybe, yeah.
hey, he hasn't been cut in 7 years, but I guarantee that his skills speak more for than just a year. So, um, so let's get into some icebreaker questions. So this is a couple silly kind of fun ones. If you could cut hair of any historic figure, who would it be and why?
Oh, man. Historic. Elvis Presley.
Elvis
I would
Presley.
say
Okay.
because one, I'm an Elvis fan. We play Elvis
Yeah.
in the shop all the time, and then that style, no one. It's
No one
coming
does
back,
it.
but a lot of people don't really get that cut, so it'd be cool.
That's cool. That's super,
Yeah.
man. Um, what is the funnest or most inspiring thing someone has ever said in your chair? They sat down in the chair. I know for me, like with my barber, we kind of get in some deep conversations sometimes. So I'm
Yeah,
sure there's people that have said something that maybe sticks out. What's the first thing that kind of sticks out to you?
yeah, man. Almost all my clients are now like my homies,
Yeah,
so we get into some deep stuff.
that's super cool.
I would say one guy told me one time that he just had a feeling that he wanted to get his hair cut by me, and when he did and he booked it, he said he was going through some stuff at the time, and when he got in here, like the vibes and everything, he said it really just like changed his whole like personal stuff. And I was like, wow. I was like, okay. He's like, I literally found you on social media, and he's like, and I love it, and he hasn't left since. So
That's super cool, man. That's
that was
amazing.
pretty inspiring.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah,
What's one of the most popular styles or trends you've been getting asked to do recently?
on haircuts.
Yeah.
We do tons of mullets.
Really?
Modern mullets. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I think I've already had 4 clients this morning and three of them were modern mullets.
That's so funny, dude.
That's
I
the
tried to
trend
get
right
Lauren to
now.
let me cut the boys'. I don't have no hair for a mullet. I'm bald,
Yeah.
but I tried to get Lauren to let me cut little Maverick's hair into a mullet, and she's like, absolutely not.
Dude, all
So
ages. I'm doing
I know.
kids, I'm doing grown men.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
it's the thing
If
right now.
if I
Taper
if I was
mullets.
if I didn't have a wife I had to go home to, I would definitely try to swing it, but she is not about it, so I have to keep her
Oh,
happy.
yeah, dude. I would love to have my hair just eaten in the back, but there's
Yeah,
no
yeah,
way.
exactly.
There's no way.
What's one tool or technique you think every barber should master?
Straight raising.
Yeah.
A lot of barbers, well, barbers should always straight raise, but a lot of like hair people don't straight raise,
Uh-huh.
and even if it's just the neck, people love a straight raise.
Yeah.
But it's an
Yeah.
art. Like, I mean, you mess up one time, you nick somebody, you know what I mean?
It's
So,
over.
and they
Yeah.
don't really teach you in school that much. So,
Really?
yeah, so like to me, I feel like you learn once you're in the industry. So, I think you should master it for sure.
That's a super good answer.
Yeah.
So what inspired you to become a barber? I'm curious to hear this.
So I was at a bank for 4 years
Hmm.
as a financial sales rep, and then COVID happened, and it was just like they took away the money, they took away the bonuses, all the all that. But like I never loved working at a bank. It was just the money, it was just one of those things.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The
And then
job.
honestly, I was sitting there and I was like, I think I can do this. Like I kind of want to go to school. My grandpa cut hair.
Cool.
And so that kind of inspired me. And then just like watching, like honestly, like Vic Blends, like how he came up, all these
Yeah.
different influencers. I was like, man, like I feel like with my artistic ability, like I could do this.
Yeah.
And then I got into school, never cut a head ever. Started the first day of barber school, still never held a clipper. And
That's crazy.
then it just kind of took off, and I fell in love with it.
That's cool, man. That's
So I
awesome.
would say
I
COVID, honestly.
Yeah, COVID.
Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah,
It's cool that I mean, I know this wasn't kind of your old age driving picture, but it's cool that you're connecting back to what your grandpa did, right? Like that's super cool to me that you're able to
yeah. I have some
kind
of
of
my
carry that
grandpa's
tradition on.
combs, yeah, that I
That's
use
super
today
cool.
in the chair. So
That's crazy. That's awesome,
yeah.
man. How do you approach making a client feel confident and comfortable during their visit? Because like,
Um,
so I'll kind of explain what I mean by that. So like,
yeah.
I don't think of myself as like a cool, trendy guy, right? I would not feel like I would, not that I wouldn't fit in at your place, but like
Yeah.
you guys are cool. I'm like, I have 3 kids, dude. I'm a freaking insurance agent. Like I'm not cool. So how would, if I walked in, how would you make me feel comfortable there?
Oh, we cut all ages, man, all
Yeah,
different styles. Yeah, just because there's so much banter within the shop.
yeah,
So like, if you walk in, I always ask my clients, "How'd you hear about the shop?" And then I always like have certain.
yeah, yeah. Hang on. It looks like it stopped recording. One second. Let's see if we can pick it back up. Does it say anything on your end?
Yeah, it says it's recording.
Okay.
You
You
got
might
it?
turn your phone, yeah, like horizontal. That might help.
Let me see.
Are you holding it like up and down?
Yeah, I'm holding it up and down.
Let's see if that helps at all.
But someone tried calling me, so maybe that was why.
Yeah, that might have
But
been why.
either way, I
You're
always
good.
just ask several different questions. I make them feel super comfortable, just trying to let them talk about their lives. And then, honestly, man, I always find common ground with anyone that sits in my chairs. Like I said, we cut all ages. I got clients that are 70. I got clients that are 2.
That's super
So
cool. That's
yeah,
amazing,
and
man.
we're all kind of like that in here. So it's good.
That's awesome, dude. Um, can you share a time where you gave a haircut that you either saw or someone told you that it greatly impacted, their confidence? I know you kind of spoke on the one earlier, so maybe expand on that, or if you have another one.
Pretty much anyone that's brand new to a barbershop or brand new in my chair specifically, you can tell they might not come out and say, "Oh man, I feel," but when you show them the
Yeah,
mirror and they're smiling, they're like, "Oh man," you're like, "Yeah, that's
that's
cool."
cool.
But
That has to be an
honestly,
awesome feeling.
teenagers are brutal. They can be.
Yeah,
So when you cut a teenager and you see them smile, you're like, "All right, I did my." Because I mean, high school is brutal. So
yeah, for
we have
sure,
a
dude.
few. Yeah, I got a few teenagers I cut, and when they're like, "Oh man, I'm feeling myself," I'm like, "All right, cool, cool." That's my
That's cool.
first teenager.
You're like, I did my job. That's awesome.
Yeah, because it's like a grown up. It's like, okay, cool. They might not give you any type of words
Right.
of affirmation,
Hmm.
but a teenager will straight up tell you if they hate that haircut. Like
Yeah, right
you
there.
ruined my
Yeah, right
life.
there. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
exactly. Yeah,
So
that's so.
that
We had a
teenagers,
youth kid the other day. He was like he came in. He had a new haircut. He's like, I'm so mad at my bar. He was letting everybody know. So you're right. They'll just talk about it to everybody.
yeah, oh, 100%. They'll either smile in the mirror or they'll look like they're about to just like
Yeah, yeah,
cry. It's like,
yeah.
yo, yeah,
Exactly,
yeah,
exactly. What would you say the most rewarding part of the job is?
that part right there.
Yeah, giving
Cutting
people the confidence.
people, yeah, cutting people coming in being like, man, I heard about the shop, but I've never been to a barber shop. And then you
Hmm.
give them the whole works, and then when they come back, that makes you
Hmm.
feel good because it's like you loved it the first time. Second time will be even better. So that to me is really rewarding.
That's super cool. Now tell me, I know obviously we're right around the same age and you started your own business on your own.
Yeah.
Was that always the plan to own your own shop? Did you work for someone? Because I know like I feel like you worked at another shop and then,
Yeah.
what was kind of your transition period between,
So I
that
worked at
shop
a
and your new
shop
shop?
when I first graduated in Tulsa. I worked there for like 5 months, 6 months, and
Hmm.
then just stuff kind of started going on, and I was like, man, I think I can do this on my
Yeah,
own. But it was
yeah,
super scary. It was
dude, it's insane.
definitely a leap of faith because
Yeah,
I didn't have the clientele to own my own shop. But
hmm,
I knew if I did it, I would get the clientele. You know what
right,
I mean?
right. Yeah, yeah,
So truly it was just a leap of faith, and that wasn't always the plan. Like I wanted to booth rent for a while, you know,
Yeah,
get my feet steady, get money saved up, all the nine. But I went ahead and I went and looked at one spot, and it's the spot I'm in now. And
yeah,
I told myself a price range that I thought I could afford, and it was
right.
exactly that price range. And I was like, so I went back to work, and I told, which he works here with me now, but I told him at the time, I said, "You think I should do this?" And he was like, "Yeah, do it." And I was
Yeah,
like,
that's
"This is
cool.
crazy," and
Yeah.
I did it, and yeah, man, it's been blessed.
It's so crazy whenever because I mean the same thing with me, right? Like started the business at 24 and I was like I was not planning on starting an insurance agency with no clients at 24 years old, right?
For
But
sure.
I think that whenever you're fully following what God wants you to do,
Yeah,
like you're talking about, like you have a thing in mind, like oh I think I can do this price range. God's like watch, I got you, and like
yeah, no,
that works out every single time, and it's still scary. Like that doesn't mean it's not going to be scary,
for
but
sure.
it's always nice whenever you get those little reassuring things from God. You
Well,
know
I
what I
told
mean?
myself I was like, I'm gonna get this place just so I can get on my own, and if I gotta get a second job for a while, I will.
Yeah,
Well, I had this place for like 3 months on my own, and not once did I ever have to get a second job. It just
that's amazing.
flourished, and I was
That's
covering
super
the
cool.
bills, and I was like, okay, well, and then now the shop's full, so yeah,
That's super sick. That's
yeah.
amazing, dude. So, what's one trend or style that you're seeing like start to get more popular that you're super excited about?
Haircut wise, I would
Yeah,
say, man, I specialize in burst fades. I have so many clients. If I put every client that I cut in a room, more than half have burst fades.
really?
And I think they're sick. I think they're
Can you
fun.
describe to me what a burst fade is?
It's like where it goes around and then drops down, and then it's almost like a mullet, but
Yeah.
all this is cut. And then on the back of your head, it's long, like a mohawk. It's
Okay.
a modern
Yeah,
mohawk.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen that before. That looks cool.
Yeah. Those are super fun because honestly, we get so many of just like the same type of cuts
Hmm.
that it's like, it's kind of boring.
Yeah,
But
I'd be a
when
boring cut. I'd be like just ones on the
high,
sides,
high and
fingerlings on
tight.
top.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. I say right now, mullets and burst fades are the
Yeah,
most trending thing right now. But
that's super cool.
they have been for the past year. So we've all said in here, we think in like the next year, something's got to switch up. Like there's got to
Yeah,
be a new cut soon.
right.
So
Yeah.
we'll see.
I wonder if where we're at located wise, if it takes longer for the trends to get here. You know what I mean?
100%. I went
Yeah.
to a barber show. Well, we all did. I took the team to Dallas, and the trends there from these LA barbers and all this,
It's
it's way
crazy.
like there's some of these cuts I was like would never sit in my chair in Oklahoma.
No,
There's
yeah,
no
yeah, yeah,
way.
yeah. Yeah,
So
that's so funny.
yeah.
So we kind of already talked about it, starting your own business young. What are some challenges, or what is like one challenge that comes to mind that you face when you're trying to start a bit, specifically in your industry, that you face trying to start a shop in your at your age and getting started
Yeah, I
out?
would say the hardest part was one getting it built out because I didn't get a
Yeah,
loan or anything for this because I didn't want a business loan.
yeah,
So getting it slowly built out. I didn't open this shop and have everything in here. It's been like
hmm
a okay, this
gradual
month I'm going to
process,
buy
right?
another toolbox. This month I'm buying
Right,
another chair. Like we just now got to the point where now I don't have to really buy anything for the
right.
shop unless it's like a want. That was a challenge, and then honestly just still marketing, like getting the clientele to sit in the chairs. So
Yeah,
um I don't ever want to slow down on that. That's one of my
yeah,
favorite things. Like you make videos. I
yeah,
love
dude.
that part of it. So
Yeah, yeah. It's
but it's a challenge, it's a grind. I
it's
mean,
a grind for sure, but it kind of breaks up the, at least for me, it breaks up the
it
monotony of
does.
the normal business, and you're like, okay, this is something where I can kind of, which yours is a little different because obviously you're creative every day.
Yeah,
Insurance is not crazy creative, so like it gives me an
yeah,
opportunity to be creative in a sense that
for
like when
sure.
I'm sitting here typing out quotes, I'm not doing. So I
Yeah.
definitely completely understand, but I mean, not to take away from the fact that it's extremely difficult to always want to
Yeah,
be doing videos and stuff like that.
for
So
sure. Yeah, and like when I'm booked out, it's like I see a good haircut I do. It's like sometimes I don't have time to take that video because I
yep,
got the next
yep,
guy waiting on me. So,
yeah,
but
exactly,
when it is slow, I love my slow days because I like to be creative, and
yeah, for sure.
we do have a good videographer that rolls through here and takes our
That's
stuff
super
for us.
cool.
So yeah.
That's awesome, man. How are you staying up to date on most of your trends? I know you kind of already talked about going to the conferences. Are you using social media? Like, what are you kind of doing to stay on top of stuff?
Yeah, I feel like I've had a lot of people sit in my chair and be like, "Man, I just came to you because I think your vibe's cool on Instagram." So like
Yeah,
myself is I try to stay trendy with that. But as far as like in the industry, man, it all kind of just goes along. Like if you're a cool person and kind of trendy, you'll get those trendier clients.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like really social media. Yeah, like these barbers that are making, millions of dollars, they're making it not just from the chair. They're making it from
Yeah.
outfit videos. They're making
For
it from
sure.
products,
Yeah.
and that's the goal. So
Yeah,
that's how
dude.
I stay up to date. Just really social
That's
media.
that's super good.
Yeah.
So, want to kind of get into the community aspect. I know that you know, from your social media and just knowing you that that's super important to you.
Yeah.
And you guys are definitely seem like you're doing a really good job on it and making it like a staple of your business, right? So, what do you think? What role do you think barbershops play in building community?
Man, I feel like if you do it right, back in the day, barbershops that's what they were known for was
Yeah.
community. Whether it's
Yeah.
having your door open and people coming in here and just hanging out, which I love, that's part of it too. Like there's
Yeah.
people that stop by that don't even get haircuts.
Hmm.
But I like that I have built that foundation for people. Uh and as far as like I don't know, like barbershops can do a lot for the community.
Yeah.
Like food drives, clothing drives. I mean, you can use your shop and
Hmm.
run any type of campaign you want, really. And there's programs we've worked with called like Be Heard Movement, which I don't know if you've heard
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
My
So,
actually my last podcast guys just talked about them.
oh, really? Yeah. So Be
Yeah.
Heard. Yeah, we've done a lot of stuff with them. We've actually cut
That's cool.
hair with them in their bus in Oklahoma City.
Cool.
Um, and we've done a lot of Tulsa stuff, a lot of different drives. So, I mean, really, yeah, you just if you want to be plugged in, you can be. If
Yeah.
it's one of those things. But
Yeah, it's crazy to say like even just like thinking back to like when my grandpa would take me to his barber shop, like I mean it was a bunch of old men and I had no clue what they were talking about, didn't really care. But it was cool to
yeah,
just be in that environment where you're surrounded by a bunch of guys and everyone's just kind of, shooting the crap and like just talking and talking about sports, talking about whatever's going on in the
man,
world.
it's a
And I think
built-in man cave, man.
yeah, yeah, for
It
sure.
is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's super cool, man.
yeah. We have
Uh
people that hang out here for an hour after their haircut. I'm like, all right, like
you're like, all
it's
right, dude.
yeah, yeah,
That's super funny. Do you have a favorite story or memorable conversation you've had with a client?
yeah, yeah.
I know.
But I got this guy that comes all the time,
Yeah,
and he's got some wild stories, and I'm like,
really?
man, how are you even alive sitting in my chair right now? And
Yeah,
then you have those type of stories, and then you got like the just inspiration stories where it's
yeah.
like I don't know. It goes through so I have to have so many different feelings throughout the day. If I
Hmm.
have six clients, each one's gonna be sad, one's gonna be
Yeah,
happy,
yeah,
one's not
yeah,
gonna talk, and it's like I don't really have just a specific memorable story that I can really like say, but
yeah,
it's just kind of like your emotions don't matter. You got to kind of be what they're
yeah.
feeling, and
You're
it's
just like
like,
a sounding board for them, right? Especially the
yeah,
people who just want to sit down and talk.
dude, it's therapy. Like, I feel like a
Yeah,
therapist. That's why I made that little like joke on my
yeah,
Instagram. Like, if you want a therapy session, come get a haircut. Because
yeah, yeah,
truly, at the end of the day, I'm like, my mind hurts sometimes. I'm like,
yeah.
that was crazy.
That's
But
so funny. That's so funny.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean that's a great answer. I think that it's cool that you're realizing that so early in your career
yeah,
because you don't even probably realize the impact that I mean you don't know there might be some guy who lives by himself doesn't have anyone to talk to and he comes and talks to you like you're the only person he has that can kind of
for sure.
relate to his feelings and stuff. So I think that's super cool that you're willing to do that.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, how do you create an inviting atmosphere at Blades Edge?
How do I create an inviting atmosphere? I would say just the vibes when you walk in. Everyone here that I've hired is super personable. Everyone banters with everyone. So if one of my
Yeah,
barbers isn't cutting, they're still going to be talking to my client that I'm cutting.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So it's never just me and my client talking. It's like,
hmm,
I know a lot of Keaton's clients. Keaton knows a lot of my clients.
yeah,
It almost feels like, and when you have everyone every 2 weeks, a guy comes every 2 to 3 weeks, you really build that relationship with them.
for sure.
And we have a homey vibe here. Everyone always says that it's a smaller shop. It's
Yeah,
not too big, and man, we play good music. We have the TV on, and like I said, everyone's super personable. Like
that's cool.
some of Keaton's clients probably know way too much about me than they probably should, but I'm super
Yeah,
personable. So
right.
uh, a lot of like my clients have actually became like if they called me and was like, hey, you want to go out tonight? I'd be like, yeah, sure, let's do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a thing where it's
Like
like.
it comes outside the chair, right? That relationship goes outside that to where you're
Dude,
like
I hang
these are
out
like
with
real life friends at this
so
point.
many of my clients outside the shop.
That's cool.
Like
That's super cool.
your clients become your friends like faster than your friends become your clients.
Oh,
That's a
for
real
sure.
it's a real thing.
For sure, for sure.
Yes.
Um, What's your future visions for the shop? I want to hear like grand scheme. No one's putting a limit on what you can do. I want to hear the type of dreams that I always talk about with Lauren. Like I want to have the type of dreams that scare other people, right? So what's
Yeah.
your big dream that scares someone else? Like when you talk to someone who's not a business owner and they're like, "Pff, that's insane. Like I would never even
We'll
think that.
see.
So what's your dream?
Like just like you said, you got to surround yourself with people that when you're talking about your dreams, it doesn't feel like you're bragging.
Yeah,
Because if you surround yourself with people when you're telling your dreams, they're gonna think you're bragging. You know what I mean? It's
yeah,
like no,
yeah,
but
for
like
sure.
we're just like-minded people.
Hmm.
If I had no limit on anything, man, my goal, I want to open up several different shops,
Yeah,
all around the Broken Arrow area. Like I want to take over BA,
yeah,
um, maybe Coweta, because that's obviously where I'm from. But
yeah,
Coweta's not. Everyone from Coweta comes to BA at some point.
yeah. It's like it's not like it's that far or anything.
Yeah, and like the price point's different, like what we can charge. It really
Yeah,
is. So I would love to take over Broken Arrow, Tulsa. Uh, I really want it to be just like Blades Edge. When you hear that, you don't know what location to even go to. That's my goal.
right. That's
Like,
super cool. That's such a cool
yeah,
dream.
that would be cool. Yeah.
What uh what do you think your next steps are to have to get there?
I would say within the next year, I want to open up my next one.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I'm gonna run two for a minute and then kind of let that sit and
yeah,
then
for sure.
see. The goal is to expand where I'm at right now. There's spots beside me, um, and the goal, if it's meant to be, God willing, one of them will leave, and then I'll just
Hmm.
knock out these walls and expand right here.
That would be super cool.
That's
That'd be
that's
amazing.
the quickest goal because I don't really want to go and open another shop. I would love to
Yeah,
just stay right here, just to make sure I can. It's still personable. Because I feel like
yeah.
you can kind of ruin your rep if you expand too fast and not sure what's going
Right.
on.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I always think about how you want to make sure that you're, super good at what you do, right? And
Yeah.
over expanding can take that away, right? I always tell
Yeah.
everyone like I only do home and auto insurance because I want to be the absolute best at home and auto insurance.
Yeah.
And like if I try to do everything else in the insurance industry, there's so many other things you could do. And like if I spread myself too thin, then it's like my clients are at a disservice.
Yeah.
And so
For
like
sure.
make sure you master your craft first and then let it explode.
For
I think that's
sure.
super cool
Yeah.
that you're playing.
Yeah.
Um, What's the wildest haircut request you've ever received? Like, has someone ever walked in and you're like, oh my God, like I did not expect that.
Man, it's hard because we're in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like,
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's
it's
pretty cut
not
and dry,
that.
right?
It's pretty
Yeah,
dry. Like, if
yeah,
anything, my haircuts that I've done on my that I've had people do on me is probably
yeah, yeah,
some of the
yeah.
craziest.
Yeah.
Uh, I would say,
What's the craziest haircut you've ever done that you've gotten done yourself?
yeah. So my last guy I worked for, Trent over at Sharpside, he had a shag, and I had to cut that a few times. And that was probably the gnarliest thing I've cut, which is
Really?
literally a patch of hair in the back, and then
That's
everything else is
crazy.
faded. But barbers are gonna have that edgier
For sure.
style.
Sure.
But someone just coming off the street with a 9 to 5 sitting in my chair, I don't have any crazy cuts like that.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, if I came in and asked for a shag, you'd be like, what the heck are you
I'd
talking
probably be
about,
like,
dude?
"Hey, let me talk you out of
Yeah,
this. Like,
yeah, yeah. Let's
don't
let's talk about it before you
don't
do
do
something
this." But
crazy.
yeah, I'd probably
Yeah.
say that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. If you could cut hair in any location in the world, where would it be? Like if you're like I think this question came from, and you actually mentioned him earlier, which is super funny. I have nothing to do with barbering, but
Yeah,
I follow that Vic Blends guy. Is that his name, Vic
yeah,
Blends?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I watch all of his content. I love all of his content, dude. So, and I know he's done things where he's traveled around, and done like
Dude, we
other
have the
cuts
same
in different places.
birthday.
You and him do?
Yeah,
It's destined. It's
yeah. I
destined.
messaged him and told him happy birthday, and he messaged me back. I was like, "Happy birthday, bro!" And I was like, "Yo," I was like,
Oh, that's
"Yeah,
crazy. That's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah."
So do you have a place where you're like, it would be super cool to be able to go cut hair there?
Man, my real answer would say Tulsa, here, Broken Arrow,
Yeah.
because the community that I've built around me
Hmm.
is absolutely awesome, amazing. My clients are great.
Yeah.
So it would be very hard for me to uproot and leave and start over
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
because I grew up in Quita, so I have that town.
Hmm.
I have
Yeah.
Broken Arrow, and then I have stuff in Tulsa. So it's like really here is like my passion, the people here.
Yeah.
But if I didn't have to worry about clientele and starting over, I would say like Miami, Florida.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Just because
That kind of seems like it's your vibe too.
there's a couple dudes out there that cut hair that I think are just sick, and I'd be
That's
like,
cool.
that'd be cool to collab. But I'd probably say Miami.
That's cool. That's super cool.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, we're gonna get into our green country conversation two pack that we ask every single week. So first question, what's your ideal look like? What's your ideal day look like in the green country area?
With work or without work?
Whatever you want to do. Whatever is your perfect day.
My perfect day is seeing my books completely full,
Yeah,
but sometimes no. So I do like my gaps.
yeah,
If I have a gap in my schedule, I wake up, I go to Pereira Coffee almost every day. Shout out Pereira. It's if you haven't been there, go there.
yeah. Where's it
Pereira
located? Is
Coffee.
it Broken Arrow?
No, it's over by TCC.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I go there almost every morning. Come to shop, cut hair, and then if I have gaps, I take my dog to the dog park almost every day.
Yeah,
Love that.
that's super cool.
That's a new thing for me.
Yeah.
Uh, but I find a lot of peace in
That's a
doing it.
completely different culture too. Like when Lauren and I were in college, we started going to the dog parks with our one of
Yeah,
our dogs, and you're
yeah,
like, this is a different world that I didn't even know existed.
dude. I've been getting clients from the dog park
That's super cool.
because they're like, "Man, your dog's beautiful." And I'm like, "Hey, I'm a barber. Shout out."
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
like it's a whole different world. It's a whole different world
yeah.
out there.
Hmm.
I've been doing that a lot, which is a new thing for me, and I love it.
Yeah,
Come back to the shop, cut hair, and then, man, usually at night, just headed home for the family.
yeah,
Uh, if we're not doing family things, and I'm, doing something in the community, uh, man, I love going shopping. I thrift all the
yeah.
time.
That's
I
super
am not
cool.
a guy. I don't care how much money I make. I don't care if I'm a millionaire tomorrow. I thrift.
You're gonna thrift
If I
regardless.
see $50 on a T-shirt, I will not buy that
You're like,
thing.
absolutely not. That's
Yeah,
so funny. That's
yeah.
that's good to know. So what's one hidden gem in green country that most people need to experience if they haven't already?
Well, like you said earlier, I'm big into like fashion and stuff, along with everyone that works here. So we all kind of do that. Racks of Tulsa, shout out Racks. They've got me fitted a lot of times. I've collabed with them a few times. Sobo, we got Sobo stickers in the shop. Shout out Sobo. That's a pretty cool store.
That's cool.
It's all local stuff.
Yeah,
Man, those are like my two like go tos clothing wise. And
that's
then, like
cool.
I said, if I'm gonna do like coffee, Pereira.
Okay.
Prayer is awesome. Those are like I'm a man of routine. I don't really
Yeah,
sure like
that's good. I'm the same way, dude. I
yeah.
find my thing and I just stick to it.
I will shop locally for anything more than I'll shop on a chain.
I'm the same way. I'm the
Like
same way. It
yeah,
drives
I
Lauren
haven't.
crazy too, because I'll just be like, I won't go to a restaurant or something if it's a chain. I'll be like, I'm not
Well,
eating there.
see, that's what I was about to say. I haven't really found a restaurant that's locally owned
Yeah?
that I like.
Huh.
So
You'll have to listen. We've had a couple of our guests have given some really good
okay,
locations. So
cool,
take a
cool.
look at some of our old episodes and you can find some there.
Yeah, because
So
yeah.
one last question, and we'll get wrapped up here. What's one piece of advice you'd give someone considering becoming a barber?
Man, I say this. I've said this even when I was in school because I've seen barbers come out of school and they don't have clientele. I
Hmm.
don't care how crappy your haircuts are. If you feel like they're crappy, the day I started school, I started marketing myself. I started posting those haircuts.
Yep.
Let people know, hey, I'm in school. This is not going to be the best haircut, but I'm
Yeah,
cutting
yeah,
hair.
yeah.
I'm cutting
Yeah,
hair. I live it. I still don't pull the brakes on it. I still live it every day. I mean, I
yeah,
got razors tatted on my hand.
yeah,
Uh, I just really feel like if you're going to be a barber, you got to live it
yeah,
because
for sure.
these barbers will come out of school and they're sitting in the shop and they don't have clients
Hmm.
because they didn't want to post their haircuts in school. And it's
Yeah.
like, man, the normal eye is gonna look at a haircut and be like, "Oh, that's
Hmm.
good."
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You can't not post because of other barbers judging your work because those barbers aren't gonna be the ones sitting in your chair. They're
Yeah, right,
barbers.
exactly. Yeah,
So
they're not coming to get the
you
haircut with
gotta
you.
cut you gotta cut decent enough hair that a normal person on the street's like, "Oh, that's a good cut."
That's good.
So I
That's
would
good
just say
stuff, man.
market yourself, collab with businesses. Like, man, I was I was flipping out of the chair in Clary Sage. So Clary Sage charges $5 for a haircut.
Yeah,
I would market myself, get my homies in there. I would charge them full price. I'm $30 for a cut, and then I
yeah,
would go pay the cut. So I'd make twenty
that's
five
cool.
bucks a cut while I was in school.
Yeah,
And then when I graduated, they were already used to paying 30, so
yeah,
they weren't like, oh, whoa, whoa, whoa.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It just is what it is, man. Like,
That's super cool. Yeah,
yeah,
I think all the time. I mean, I said this on a podcast last week that I was on. It's as a business owner, it doesn't matter if you like social media or not. It's part of our business is we have to use
yeah,
it. It's our jobs to make sure that every single person that thinks of, Blaine Ford or Maverick Pitchford, they know
yeah,
what we do, right? I want the people when I'm walking into Walmart to be like, oh, that's Maverick. He sells insurance, even if
yeah,
they never call me. And you want the people
sure.
that when they see Blaine, they're like, oh, that's Blaine. He cuts hair. You know
Well,
what I
that's
mean?
why I
Like you don't
created
want,
that brand. Is that my
yeah,
barber? Like, I have people that, oh, is that my barber? Like, I'm like, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. You
that's
know, I
cool.
cut hair, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
exactly. That's
it's all
that's the big thing
it's all about branding. And so
for
my
sure.
advice would be, I don't care if it's your first day at college, start making college content. We made Clary
Hmm.
Sage content all the time.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, I don't know.
That's good
It's
stuff,
just
man. That's
yeah,
great advice. I think someone's definitely going to hear that, and if they're on the edge, they'll be like, "Well, that's
yeah.
one piece I can kind of put in my toolbox and use whenever I decide to
Yeah,
make this
and
decision."
it's nerve wracking. I didn't use social media the way I do now before I was a barber. So I had a
Yeah.
basic 9 to 5.
Mhm.
I would post pictures of the family, whatever.
Mhm.
But it's nerve wracking. Now it's not. Now I love it. But
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
in college, I was like, I don't know if I should post this. Like, it's weird. My haircut sucks.
Yeah.
But you do it, and then you get a clientele. You get a client from it.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
So
and you got to get to the point where like you I'm just thinking recently from I mean I just posted a freaking video of me dancing online
yes,
and I if you had asked me 5 years ago about it, I'd been like absolutely there's no way. But when it comes to your business, you're like I'll do whatever I have to do to
yeah,
make people
to
know
get
that this is what
eyes,
I do.
to get
Yeah,
eyes
yeah,
on
yeah.
it. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
for
So,
sure.
well, Blaine, man, this has been a great conversation. Why don't you tell people where your shop's at, one, and
Yeah.
two, maybe how to book with you, and then let them know where they can find you online as well.
Yeah, man. Blades Edge in Broken Arrow. We're right off Aspen over here by like Battle Creek. You can book with me online. You can Google Blades Edge. My link's in there, along with my other barbers. You can book with them on Instagram. You can call the shop, and then we take walk-ins 6 days a week. But if
Okay.
you specifically want to go to me, I only take bookings. So, yeah, online or my social media.
And what's your social media handle so people can find it?
At I'm Blaine the Barber, and then Facebook's just Blaine Ford. I answer Messenger and I answer DMs, and then my link is actually in my bio. So
Cool.
yeah,
Awesome, dude. Well, Blaine, I appreciate it. Guys, if you're looking for a new barber, give Blaine a call.
thanks, man. Appreciate you, Maverick.
Yeah, for sure.
See ya.